So Keith,
Awesome.
how you doing, buddy?
Doing all right. How about yourself?
I was just asking you, how's the weather there? We're in two different states, but
Yeah.
you said it's a little brisk, and I'm kind of, a little bit
Yeah.
warm.
You living the dream down South Florida, man.
That's
Living
what
the
happens when you do this dual career thing, right?
indeed. Yes, indeed. Short-term sacrifices for long-term success. And when you begin with the end in mind, you do it the right way, man.
So I guess what we'll do for everybody, we have 30 minutes to kind of give you a sneak peek of what this program will be like. We'll go through the outline, share a little bit about us, and then I think we'll have a couple minutes maybe to do a little Q&A, right?
Yeah, yeah. Let's rock and roll. Miles, can we pull up the slides or Anna? There we go.
So who are you, Keith?
Yeah, so my name is Keith James. I'm one-third managing partner of the Coalition Properties Group. My real estate journey started about 13 years ago when I purchased my first home at the age of 23. And I think, you know, the first thing that I think about when I think about that time frame is a lot of times we want to step out on faith, but we have a lot of fear, you know. And the barrier that I broke down during that time was fear. And when I bought that first property, I felt motivated, felt educated, and I wanted to do it again. And so I continued to buy multiple properties, and I ended up moving to Washington, D.C. And I have a sales team with two other amazing partners where we sell about 300 homes a year, and we help people build wealth. Our mission is be the bridge to our community for all things real estate, lifestyle, and wealth building. The reason I'm so passionate about dual career is that when I was in corporate America, starting out after college, I got laid off. And if it wasn't for my real estate portfolio helping me with my income at that time, I would have been very stressed. And I think that being able to begin with the end in mind and having supplement to be able to make $50,000 a year and the things that we're going to teach in this class is super important. And I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, thanks, Keith. That's a pretty cool journey, and I think one that a lot of people would be interested in hearing, especially that the fact that you got laid off or whatever happened to you, right?
Yeah.
Uh, Mine was a little different where I actually resigned, from a pretty good job, making $100,000 a year. I don't know about you, government pension,
Yeah.
uh, government health benefits that were amazing. My wife still reminds me about it, and had all the bells and whistles of a really good career, but I wasn't happy.
There you go. Yeah.
And I think everyone has to make a decision. What's more important? Is it money? Is it happiness? Is it both? All that. And for me, the money was fine. It was the happiness was what I wasn't as driving to work. If anybody can attest to hitting the steering wheel like in traffic, like, oh my, I'm going here again. Oh my, I've
Yeah.
heard this story over and over again. So I think the cool thing about this dual career path for everyone in this program is we're going to share really best practices of what we've done to be successful. And it just wasn't real estate, right? This, we
Absolutely.
talk about, the quick way of making 50,000 a year. I mean, that could be $1 million
Absolutely.
if you want to do it, right? If you want to create into that kind of business. If it's a side hustle and you want 50, great. If you want 1 million or more, great. So we could talk about that. We could talk about the leadership path that it has led to and some of the other things. But I think more importantly is you have options.
Absolutely.
I think you have options, and I think we want them to know. So maybe put in the chat box now why you guys are here. Why did you sign up if you already did, or why did you sign up today to be on this call? We'd love to hear kind of like what are the reasonings you're on this call, so maybe we could touch on it or make sure our program touches on pieces of that as well. Um, any
Absolutely.
other thoughts on that, Keith?
Absolutely. We believe in vulnerability, just being vulnerable and being very transparent. We've been through this. We've seen what, you know, having extra income can do for us and our families. And we can we seen the impact that it can have on other people, you know. And I've probably seen every possible real estate deal that you could possibly see in the marketplace, right? And just by going through that and having the resources to having the resources to be able to replicate and duplicate this model over and over again is going to be very vital to this program.
So it looks like Keith said to create another stream of income. So we're going to definitely talk about that. PC coach in Seattle, awesome. Looking to clarify my dual career program for the marketplace. So yeah, so we've worked on this for months. So you'll have at least what we have. We have some special guests coming on. We're
Yep.
going to do some balance sheets. We're going to do some. I think you're going to review some actual investments that you've
Absolutely.
done, and I'm sure I can chime in on that.
Yeah.
Um, Balancing full time motherhood, getting my real estate business up and running. That's a definite,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's like 101 for why we're
Yeah.
probably here.
Absolutely.
DAS looking for nuggets to help our dual career agents. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to get some nuggets. We're going to give them some homework. We're going to give them some takeaways. There's going to be some probably maybe even some books and things we read on the screen. Now you guys will see kind of the week plan. So it looks like there's a lot of cool stuff in here.
Yeah.
This group's better than the last group because they're really sharing some stuff, right? I think
Yeah.
we did this before. They're really diving in, which I
They're
love.
really diving in. Yeah. And I think, you know, that vulnerability piece and just, you know, showing you what works and, you know, the mistakes that we've made in the process, you know, we're going to analyze those deals and I'll show you, okay, I could have done a better job, you know, in this arena, so to speak. And I want to make sure that, you know, everybody has the tools they need to go out and implement and all the ammunition. Oh, I like that. Balance motherhood, successful real.
You
Yep.
know, before we start getting into weeks, I see one in here. I think Elsa says I to grow my income, but not sure if I should shut down my other business. And it's just a quick story. Also, my wife was doing this tanning business, and she was working. We had three kids, and she wanted something to do, and she was doing it. And she came to me one day, and she's like, what what should I do? It's not making money. I've been working hours and hours and all this. And I was like, let me ask you a question on the best year ever. How much would you make this year if you had your best year ever in that business? She said $50,000. I said, shut it down.
Yep.
um,
Yep.
so it's just a matter if it makes sense for you. Now, if it's a dual career and you're making 50 on the side, that's not bad. But if it's 50 and that's it, I don't know about you. I don't know how you could survive after taxes nowadays, right?
Exactly.
Because it's just harder. So I think we're going to talk real talk to all you folks on here that, really to really dissect where you are and really know how much it costs to live the life you live. So week one,
Absolutely.
what we're going to talk about, Keith?
Yeah. So know your numbers. With any business that you're entering into, whether you don't want to do flips, whether you want to do buy and holds, um, if you want to have a certain amount of closings in a year, you have to begin with the end in mind, right? And back yourself into that number. In order for clarity is power. And so if I say I want to make $100,000 a year, I need to know how many appointments that's going to be and what my conversion rate needs to be to get to that $100,000. So we're going to dive deep into knowing your numbers, knowing your time, and also if you do have the aspiration to go out and invest in real estate, knowing what type of deals you need to look at to create the margins that you want to make it to the number that you want to get to, right? And we're going to share real life experiences about that. A lot of times with your numbers, we want to make sure our business is in good financial health, right? Do we have the emergency fund to go out and invest? Do we have the proper backing? Are there any resources that are out there for us to be able to go out and invest at a great rate that gives you peace of mind? You know, we don't believe in hitting grand slams. We believe in hitting singles, baseball terminology, and getting on base every single time. And you can go to the Hall of Fame by doing that. A lot of times people like to swing for the fence and hit that grand slam, but they miss, you know? and that can set them back. So we believe in prior preparation prevents poor performance and what we need to go out and do to be successful with knowing your numbers.
I love that. And the only thing I would add is, the one thing I think I said earlier, I made money.
Yep.
I didn't keep it.
Yep.
So some of you might be making money, but it doesn't mean that you're keeping it,
Yep.
which is just as important, right? That you keep money so that you can go on vacation, so that you can live a life by design, so that you can send your kids to school, college, wherever they are, and they're in it, they're set up for success as well. So that's why you need to know your number. So how about week 2? What's your plan? So they need a plan, right?
Absolutely.
So when I think about this, Keith, I think it's like some people maybe know their numbers, and then they're like, all right, what do I do now? Right? Like, what the heck do I do? And we're going to strategize not only just from the business, from the real estate perspective, right? Like, how do you lead gen? What are the scripts that work? What should you be focused on? I don't know about you. I think you should be focused on anything that gets you a customer.
Absolutely.
But that's just me and you, right? Because customers lead to profit.
Yep.
Your listing presentation being all pretty, your business card having just the right pixel, maybe that's not the most important thing to worry about, right? Like to me, you need
Yep.
customers. So we're going to talk about that. And then, if you're going to invest, what does it take to invest? We're going to talk about, like Keith said earlier, he's going to share some live deals that he's doing. I can also share some flips that I'm actually doing currently or I've done. And then more importantly, people think you need money to do a lot of things. That's not the truth,
Yeah.
right? That's not the truth. And we're going to talk about that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One thing to add, you said something, that pretty listing presentation or that pretty buyer consultation packet, perfection is the enemy of progress, right? And sometimes you really need to just step out and get it done. It doesn't have to be all fancy, or you can get looking at 100 deals and looking at deals on the investment side, you can get analysis paralysis. And the goal is to buy an investment property, not to continue to analyze a bunch of deals and talk yourself out of it. So we'll talk about, a certain buy box that you might want to have when you're looking at these deals so you can make that decision to go out and buy.
And then Keith, when we talk about week 3, no matter your path, go. I think
Yeah,
you were talking about the paralysis and things. I think some people, they might know all this stuff, but they don't act.
there you go.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, the perfect example I would give is investment properties.
Yep.
You might even have the money, maybe you have the down payment, whatever. The house next door to yours has about $150,000 in equity, and you do nothing about it. We don't want that to happen. So the one thing that we're going to make sure is that you at least have a plan and you know how to handle that house next door with 150,000 in equity. Because yes, you can refer it to an agent if you're not an agent, right, and make money. If you're an agent, you can list it and make that person wealthy, or you can make yourself wealthy,
There you go.
right? Which I like that one, making yourself wealthy. So we're going to talk about action. Any other things about the know your path and go?
Yeah, for the most part, people have 9 to 5 jobs, and that's okay. We're not saying you have to leave your 9 to 5 job if you don't want to. You may have in DC, I know a lot of people have good government jobs here that they work remote and it's super flexible. Um, we're not saying you have to leave that job, but at least step out and venture into these other type of incomes that you can take advantage of, right? Uh, when you're becoming dual career and you're going on appointments. A lot of my deals that I've done have come because of my listing appointments that I've done, right? And I go in there and I look at a house and I say, you know what? I can buy this right now. But the mindset of even looking at that deal, change the way you look at things, and the things you look at will change. Looking at that opportunity, every listing appointment, and let me analyze this deal first before I walk into that listing appointment to see if I could buy that property. If you did that on every single appointment that you went on, not only would your uh, mental capacity and financial literacy go up, but your conversation around listings and your conversation around investing will go up as well. So that's something else that we want to, capture.
I love that. And then, week four, the basics are needed. This is kind of where we dive into six personal perspectives.
Yeah.
And, you know, I know I could probably share the six personal perspectives. If you don't know what they are, I'm going to share them real quickly with you. But you could share this with your significant other. You could share this with your children. I don't think it has anything to do with real estate itself. It just has it's just basic principles. And what it talks about is number one, self mastery. Um, I would say since this is more real estate focused, I always tell people you should have some niche. Like, what are you really going to focus on? So you're not just all over the place. And for me, it was investment real estate, right? I focused on investors. It was like the easiest thing for me because I didn't have like, I wasn't doing luxury yet. I wasn't doing like neighborhood farming or any of that stuff. And we're going to talk all about that stuff anyway. But for me, it was investing. And I stayed in that lane until I didn't have to anymore. And then all of a sudden I got their primary homes. And then before you know it, I got into bigger and better things. And, then I was one of the top agents in the country, in New Jersey and in the country for
Yeah.
my old brokerage and all that stuff. So, that's the part that's really cool. And then we go into 80/20 principle, which all of us need, which is time blocking and all that stuff that we kind of need when we're dual career. I don't know if there's anything more important than time block, especially if you have children,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So we're going to dive into that. We're going to dive into E to P, which is being purposeful as opposed to entrepreneurial. We all can be entrepreneurial. We could create this whole elaborate thing. People have been here before us, folks.
Yep.
Let's take advantage of that and let's not make it so hard. So we're going to talk about being purposeful, and that's why Gary wrote this book called The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, right? To make it simple. And then real simplistic, but really important is being learning based. I know that's something that you really want to learn. You're a learner. Give me more,
Yeah.
give me more. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about limiting beliefs, which we all have. And last but
Yeah.
not least, we're gonna add some accountability, right, to that. Any other thoughts with that? I know real quick because I want to do some Q&A, but that's really the basis of the week four.
No, no, you hit it right on the head. Just learning based, becoming a sponge. We're going to share books that we've read and why these books are important for you where you are on your journey, right? Which I think is super helpful from a self-development standpoint. And also even mindset, just talking about mindset, because everything is 90% mindset. The other 10 is just doing it, right? And so I think kind of sharing our journey and talking about, how we look at certain things and how we look at certain opportunities out there. And also too, my grandfather used to always say, you are who you hang around, you know, the people that are you're surrounded by, what type of energy they're bringing you, you have to protect your peace. So,
All right, and then last but not least, week six is just a review, but week five is to create the business and build a legacy. And I remember being on a stage with you and talking about your father
yep, yep,
and how you're to me. I think when I read that, I think about now the legacy that you leave for your children of the businesses you created. How cool that is. You and I both have that similar story, and we're going to dive into what that really means to the folks on here and how they can build their own legacy.
yes, indeed, yes, indeed. Having that conversations at the dinner table are very important with your kids, you
Yeah,
know,
talking about money. We never really talked about money with our children.
at all, not at
Yeah.
all, not at all.
So I think we asked why they're here.
Yeah.
Now that you guys kind of heard the weeks, what do you want to take away from this course that maybe we didn't cover? If you want to throw that in the chat box, and then we got about 9 minutes. You want to open up for some Q&A?
Let's do it. Yeah. You want to come off mute and
Yeah, you can
ask
come off
questions?
mute, or you could throw it in the chat box as well.
You want to hear from you?
Yeah, that's why we're here,
Yeah, we
right?
want to hear from you.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey,
So this is not Keith. This is his significant other. We're both here, just in case you were like,
hey,
why?
what's going on?
What's going on, Keith?
Hey, how you doing? I
I'm good,
appreciate you
brother.
guys being on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I had a question, and I'm sorry, I was kind of on and off calls. You might have said it already, but what is the time commitment for this course? What does that look like?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. And Mills, you could jump on just to make sure we're clear. But the goal of this course, number one, me and Keith both, and this is no ego, this is just the reality. Me and Keith both are busy guys, and we did this because we really wanted to help people, right? But there's a certain amount of signups we need to make this course make sense. So we're going to have to delay. We were supposed to start tomorrow, but we just didn't get the signups that are necessary for us in our time, because we're committing 6 weeks, a couple hours, plus all the prep time and everything. So we want to make sure we get a nice amount of people on this call. So share with your friends that are not here, or if you're going to sign up so we know that we have the right amount. But it's important that we share it to enough people to make sense for our time as well. Miles, do you have those dates, or you could put the new dates in the chat?
I'm going to pull them right now for you guys. Yeah.
90 minutes for 6 weeks every week. We'll start June 12th.
Yeah, it's in the thing now.
Got it.
So we were supposed to start tomorrow. We're going to start June 12th. It's at night. So if you're a dual career, you should be good. We did that purposely. And hour and a half, and it'll be fun packed, loaded. And if you didn't get what you needed, I'm sure Keith or I, or both of us, will make sure that you'll have a plan, and we could discuss offline as well.
So I want to shout out, Keith just proposed, and they're on the call, and they're building their future for their kids. And so
that's awesome.
Super amazing. Congratulations, guys.
Congrats.
Appreciate it. And so thank you for that, Keith, but also you too, John, because that was one of our thing why we had a question on time, because we're soon to be welcoming our new bundle of joy within the next 2 to 3 weeks. So we want to make sure that us, again, stepping into this, it was going to be something that we could commit our time to as well. So
absolutely.
And anyone that just so you know, if let's say a date didn't work, or something happened and you couldn't get on this group, whoever signs up will have it for 2 months after the 6 weeks. So you'll have it to make sure you can go back, take your notes, and anything you need from it for the next 2 months after we finish. Any other questions?
Hello, I raised my hand.
Oh, hey, Aisha.
Hi, this is Aisha. I'm from Jamaica.
Hi.
Hi, I'm very happy for this session. I just saw it in our real estate chat this morning, and I said I'm going to join because I had a 9 to 5 when I started real estate in 2021. And there were some restructuring at my company, so I'm no longer with the company as of November 2023. So I'm just now transitioning to full time, and I must say it's a scary time for me, because having that 9 to 5 income that you get accustomed to, and I've had it for 12 years, but didn't really like my job, but starting not to really like my job, and loving real estate. I am hoping to get some tips on. I'm in transition, but still wondering, should I be out there looking for another 9 to 5 job kind of thing, So it's a transition period. So I'm hoping that I can get some tips on, how to make it work if I do go back out to a 9 to 5 job, or, making real estate a full-time career, and, books to read, anything that can be in support of that. Yeah.
So I'm going to say congratulations.
Okay.
I know all about that restructuring. I was the number 1 sales rep in the company when the company restructured, and God worked in mysterious ways, and that's how I got to DC to build my real estate business. And so, this is a time where there's going to be a lot of mindset,
right,
that we're going to talk about. Also implementing the SMART goals, the beginning of like, okay, what's next? You got the cannabis. I saw your message about the cannabis industry and kind of bridging the two together. Well,
no, that one wasn't me.
Oh, okay, that wasn't you. All right, cool.
No, that one wasn't me. I was a
Got it.
sales manager at a company for 12, for the working there for the past 12 years.
Oh, okay. My apologies. So
That's okay.
time blocking, right? Setting appointments,
Right.
building up your client base, your database. Who are your people? Who are your go-to people? How can you create raving fans, right? How can you educate people so well that they can go out and educate other people? You know, at our company, we lead with education. You know, we're not a transactional company. Our clients come to us and they stay with us for life. They stick with us for life. And now they're on their third and fourth properties. And we're going to talk about why and how we do that.
Right. Right. And I'd also like to find out more about creating a niche, because I've heard different opinions of that. You hear some person saying don't have a niche. You know, how do you know if that's the right fit for you to have a niche or not to have one? Because I feel like I'm all over the place now with, you know, different persons calling about different things, and I'm trying to get listings. I'm also trying to find properties for person to buy, trying to do rental. It's a lot. So, you know, I want to know, how can I narrow it down that my days are more productive? And I'm thinking that a niche is the best thing, but then you hear some experts say that you shouldn't have a niche, you know? So I'd like to hear more about that.
Yeah, you know, listen, as a new agent, you just said it, you're all over the place. So when I say that, I mean, you want to get yourself in a position where you're not all over the place and you're focused. If it's just a certain price point, it could be anything. I mean, I doubt a new agent, unless you're just in a luxury area, that you're going to go. Like for me, the average sell price was 200,000. You know, that's where I was comfortable there. I felt like I can have those conversations. I wasn't jumping up to $1 million luxury home yet, because I wanted to make sure I gave value to my customers. So I think everyone's different. Again, I'm dual career, so I'm giving you a dual career thing. I didn't have a lot of time anyway, so I made things really simple for me because I didn't have a lot of time. If this is your full-time job, yeah, maybe it's going to be a little different. But Keith and I are coming from a dual career perspective, that you have a lot of stuff going on, and making things simple is going to be a lot easier for you than to make it a lot more complicated. Because if you're all over the place and you're not time blocked, you're not going to do anything. You're going to just paralysis. You're going to be stagnant, and you're not going to do anything. So we want to make your life where you're time blocking, you're focused, you know what you're doing every day, you know what's going on, because you only have a certain amount of time every day because you're dual career. So our conversation is going to be based mostly for dual career. But again, we've all transitioned out of dual career, and now we're full careers. So we can dive into some of that stuff too, of, you know, what would be more of a focus as a full-time agent.
Thank you. And I may go back to having a dual career. That's why I'm here, because I'm looking for a job. So I'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and this is why you sign up, folks. I know we're at the 30-minute mark, but this is why you sign up, because we're going to have some real deal conversations, actual conversations, whether it's me or Keith or someone else that we know. But just know that the date has changed, because we got to get some more people signed up. So tell a friend, tell your market centers, make sure you get signed up, and it's going to be powerful. Keith, any closing remarks?
You know, I think that for everyone that came on today, is the first step of starting this journey. And just to be able to come in and get this information and to seek information is super important when it comes to your well-being and your financial journey. And, you know, when it comes to being a sponge and learning about financial literacy, sometimes it can be a bit uncomfortable. But, you know, in order to get to where you want to go, I challenge you guys. Sometimes you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? And if you want to progress and continue to progress and be successful, so that you're impacting your kids and impacting the people that are around you, you need classes like this. You need that education, and you need to be in an environment where people are like-minded. And that's what this class is going to be all about.
Yeah, some people are asking, how do we sign up? There's a link right there that says register here. Make sure you sign up for that. You'll see either me or Keith's social media. We'll be letting you know the new dates and everything. Tell a friend. Tell people that you think need it. This is broker agnostic, so it doesn't have to be a Keller Williams agent.
Yep.
So if you have a friend that's not with Keller and you think they need this, we're not. This is not Keller stuff. This is real stuff. This is business stuff. So it doesn't really matter. Do we have to sign up individually? Miles, you can maybe answer that.
Yeah, that's Keith and his wife. They're going to be on together, so they'll be fine together.
Yeah. You could do that.
Yeah. So if you guys are a team, definitely you can use registration. And then if multiple people want to join, we do prefer multiple registrations. But if it's a husband-wife collab or whatever, by all means, feel free to register as one.
And any questions, just ask. You could see that link there. You can ask questions there or reach out to us. But hey, listen, we appreciate you. Thank you, and we hope to see you all sign up for the big event. And I think, Keith, they're going to be really happy if they did, and they're going to leave there. They're not going to make all the mistakes we made. Just say
Indeed.
that. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.